Statement of Reese Dentner. Follow along with me in your mock trial book, beginning on page 65. My name is Reese Dentner, and I'm a reporter. It's my job to comfort the afflicted, afflict the comfortable, and, above all, to sell copy doing it. I'm a finder of truth and a teller of tales. The judge has given me immunity to testify so that I can be as honest as possible about what I learned and how I learned it. So let me be clear at the outset. I think Tatum Zilius is a snake. I have a bachelor's degree in English and communications and a master's degree in journalism from Syracuse University. Upon my graduation, I was hired straight away by a paper in London, but I came back to the States after a scandal broke when I was accused of paying private investigators to hack cell phones and email accounts of members of the royal family. I restarted my career writing for TMZ, Mudraker.com, and The Sludge Report. I found my way to Philly in 2003 when I left New York over a misunderstanding of the state's rules regarding trespassing and sifting through residents' trash. With a $100 bill, I got a tip from a trusted source at OCIS that Zilius had one of the worst safety records of any developer in the area. I snuck onto some of his work sites, and boy, was that right. When I heard that Zilius was interested in Franklin's Trench, I knew it would be journalistic gold. So I went to the site and found, to my shock, that people actually lived there. Some called them squatters, but I called them perfect sources. One squatter interested me the most, Artie Dent. He was obsessed with resisting the loss of his home. Using backways into the job site, Dent would make a lot of mischief. Usually, that just meant moving tools or tagging the machines. He called it Operation Turtle. In January of 2012, Zilius took charge of the job site and things really heated up. From my perch in the building next door with my long-range mic, I heard Zilius reaming out Emerson Turnkin about how they could pay for anything but time and how time was the only thing that mattered. They started a second shift and put up a fence, but I left a wire cutter in a ditch near Artie's bedroll, and he found it. Soon we had a hole in the fence, and we could get back to looking in on things. People kept getting injured, almost all minor stuff, and I saw a couple of guys decide to fake an injury just to get the workers' comp. But Zilius paid them anyway. Things were really looking up, and I started taking lots more notes. I decided that I would write my masterpiece, Trench Warfare, and time it for the day of the big lift. I saw Artie for the last time on August 31st, 2012. I had been doing the morning shows in Philly, following up on the overnight success of Trench Warfare. I got to the site a little after noon and got on my high-powered camera. I saw Artie in his trench coat at the edge of the fence staring at Fighting Phil. He had his hands up and he looked like he was praying. By the time I got down there, he was gone. I wasn't surprised. He had a million ways in and out of the area around the site. The first roof was lowered with much difficulty. Around 3 o'clock, during the second big lift, I could hear the metal on the crane straining. I tried to get some on-the-ground information with my long-range mic, but I only picked up a fragment of conversation between Grace Hopper from OCIS and Zilius. Shortly before the crane collapsed, I heard Hopper yelling, "I can't reach. I guess you can do. You proceed." Grace always struck me as a reasonable person. I was shocked that they allowed the lift to go. The only person who talked to me after the crane collapsed, ironically, was Artie. He left me a sealed envelope which London gave to me. I guess that was the master plan Artie had told me about in July. Tatum Zilius is an awful person and a cheapskate, but murderer? That's just silly. I hate to say I told you so, but I knew something like this was going to happen, and the predictions I made in my article couldn't have been more true. Signed, Reese Dentner.